Silence is not weakness. Silence is not confusion. Silence is not fear. Silence is clarity that no longer needs permission. The most powerful men don't announce their departure because power doesn't need an audience. Drama is the language of people who still want to be seen, still want to be chosen, still want to be validated. Strength moves differently. Strength observes, understands, decides, and exits without noise. Weak men leave to be chased. Strong men leave because they have already chosen themselves. Most people think walking away loudly is confidence. They think blocking, unfollowing, confronting, explaining, accusing, and making speeches is strength. It isn't. That behavior comes from attachment, from emotional dependency, from the need to control how others feel after you're gone. Power doesn't control reactions. Power removes itself from environments that no longer align. The strongest men don't argue when disrespected. They don't negotiate attraction. They don't explain their value to people who couldn't see it. The moment a man has to convince, he has already lost leverage. And powerful men understand leverage deeply, not as manipulation, but as self-respect. Drama is emotional leakage. It reveals that someone still wants access, still wants influence, still wants to be relevant in the other person's emotional world. A man who is grounded does not need to be remembered loudly. He knows his absence will speak far more clearly than his words ever could. This is where most men fail. They think leaving is about punishment, about teaching the other person a lesson, about making them regret. That mindset alone shows weakness. Power doesn't punish. Power withdraws, and withdrawal is devastating to people who thrived on your attention, energy, and emotional labor. The most powerful men leave when patterns repeat. Not after one mistake, not after one argument. They watch consistency. They notice behavior. They pay attention to effort, accountability, and respect. And when they see that words and actions don't align, they don't start fights. They start detaching internally. That internal detachment is the real departure. By the time the exit happens physically, emotionally, he's already gone. No resentment, no begging, no speeches, just quiet finality. People who cause drama when leaving are still hoping something will change. They are still emotionally invested in a different outcome. Powerful men accept reality as it is, not as they wish it to be. Acceptance is strength. Denial is noise. A powerful man understands one brutal truth. If someone wanted to value you, they would not need to be reminded. If someone cared, they would not need ultimatums. If someone respected you, you would not need to demand it. So he stops explaining. Explaining is an attempt to control perception. Silence is confidence in truth. When a man is secure, he doesn't need to manage narratives. He lets behavior tell the story, and behavior never lies. Another reason powerful men leave without drama is because they understand emotional economy. Energy is currency, attention is currency, time is currency, and they do not overspend on situations that give no return. Arguing, justifying, defending, these are emotional expenses with zero profit. Weak men think closure comes from conversations. Strong men know closure comes from decisions. Most people don't actually want closure. They want reassurance. They want to hear that they mattered, that they were special, that they were loved. But a powerful man does not hand out emotional insurance policies on his way out. He understands that his job is not to heal people who hurt him. He also understands that explanations invite debate. Debate invites manipulation. Manipulation invites chaos. Silence shuts all doors cleanly. There is something deeply unsettling about a man who leaves calmly. No anger, no bitterness, no revenge, just distance. Because calm departure forces the other person to sit alone with their own behavior. There's no distraction, no villain to blame, no fight to justify, just emptiness and accountability. That is why silence is feared. A dramatic exit allows the other person to say he was emotional, he overreacted, he was insecure. A quiet exit leaves no excuses, it creates a mirror. Powerful men do not try to win arguments, they win their lives. They also understand that dignity is not loud. Dignity is consistent. When a man values himself, he does not burn bridges emotionally. He doesn't explode. He doesn't collapse. He simply stops crossing the bridge. Another hard truth: powerful men don't leave hoping to be missed. They leave because staying would cost them self-respect, and self-respect is non-negotiable. Most men stay too long. They tolerate subtle disrespect, delayed replies, inconsistent effort, shifting boundaries, emotional breadcrumbs, and they call it patience, loyalty, understanding. It's not. It's fear of loss. Powerful men are not afraid of loss. They are afraid of becoming someone they don't respect. So when the moment comes, they don't warn, they don't threaten, they don't say, if this happens again, I'm done. Because warnings are emotional blackmail. They reveal hesitation. A man who knows his limits doesn't announce them repeatedly, he enforces them. Leaving without drama is not coldness, it is emotional maturity. It means the man has processed his emotions privately instead of dumping them publicly. He has grieved internally instead of performing pain externally. And yes, powerful men feel deeply. That's another myth people get wrong. They think calm men don't care. In reality, they care so much that they refuse to cheapen their emotions through chaos. They don't beg because begging hands power away. They don't chase because chasing places value outside themselves. They don't confront endlessly because repetition is humiliation. They leave when they realize they are explaining basic decency. Another reason powerful men disappear quietly is because they understand something most people don't. Reactions feed patterns. When you react emotionally, you reward bad behavior with attention. Silence starves it. Some people only feel powerful when they can provoke a response. Anger, jealousy, hurt, tears. And when they no longer get that reaction, they feel irrelevant. A powerful man never feeds egos that thrive on dysfunction. He also doesn't seek revenge. Revenge keeps you emotionally tethered. Indifference is freedom. Leaving without drama is not about being mysterious. It's about being resolved. The decision is final because it was made slowly, rationally, and with self-awareness. By the time a powerful man leaves, he has already asked himself the hard questions. Am I respected here? Am I growing here? Am I becoming better or smaller? And when the answers disappoint him, he doesn't argue with reality. He adapts. And adaptation often looks like silence. People underestimate how threatening self-control is. A man who doesn't react cannot be controlled. A man who doesn't explain cannot be cornered. A man who leaves calmly cannot be manipulated back. That is why dramatic people hate quiet exits. They lose leverage. The most powerful men don't announce, "I'm done." They show it through consistency, or lack of it, reduced access, reduced availability, reduced emotional investment. They fade out, not because they're avoiding confrontation, but because confrontation would serve no purpose. You cannot reason someone into valuing you. Powerful men also know that words spoken in emotion are weapons that can be used against you later. So they choose restraint, not suppression, restraint. There's a difference. Restraint is conscious strength. Suppression is fear. Powerful men are not suppressing, they are prioritizing. They don't need to be understood by people who are committed to misunderstanding them. Another uncomfortable truth: loud exits are often ego-driven. Quiet exits are value-driven. Ego wants the last word. Value wants peace. Ego wants to be right. Value wants to be free. And powerful men always choose freedom. They also understand that explaining yourself repeatedly trains people to disrespect you. The more you tolerate, the more you normalize. So when respect becomes conditional, they remove themselves from the condition. Leaving without drama is also a test, one that happens after the exit. It reveals who reaches out with accountability and who reaches out with manipulation, who reflects and who blames, who grows and who performs regret. A powerful man watches quietly, not to go back, but to learn. Because power is not arrogance, power is awareness. The calmest exits come from the most self-aware men who know their triggers, men who regulate their emotions, men who don't outsource their worth to external validation. They don't need closure conversations because they already closed the door internally. And when they leave, they don't poison the well. They don't turn mutual connections into messengers. They don't rewrite history publicly. They let people believe whatever they need to believe. Because their identity is not fragile. Weak men need to be seen as good guys or victims. Powerful men don't need labels. They know who they are. That's why their absence feels heavier than their presence ever did. No drama means no hooks, no emotional residue, no open loops, just clean separation. And that clean separation is rare because it requires discipline. It requires self-worth. It requires the ability to sit with discomfort without acting out. Most people act out. Powerful men don't. They leave when love turns into labor, when connection turns into confusion, when effort turns one-sided, when respect turns negotiable, and they don't look back to check who noticed. Because the most dangerous thing about a powerful man is not his anger, it's his certainty. Certainty doesn't shout. Certainty doesn't argue. Certainty doesn't perform. Certainty walks away quietly and never returns the same. And that silence is not emptiness. It's final. Because when a man is truly powerful, he understands that endings don't need ceremonies. They don't need witnesses. They don't need emotional explanations wrapped in dramatic language. Power is internal alignment, not external validation. And once alignment is lost, staying becomes self-betrayal. Most men confuse attachment with loyalty. They stay because of history, memories, shared pain, shared effort. But powerful men know history is not a contract. Memories don't justify disrespect. Effort doesn't excuse imbalance. They measure the present, not the past. And when the present no longer reflects mutual value, they detach without resentment. Resentment is proof of dependency. Calm is proof of independence. A man who leaves without drama has already forgiven, not the other person, but himself. Forgiven himself for staying longer than he should have, for ignoring red flags, for explaining things that should have been obvious. That self-forgiveness frees him from the need to accuse. Accusations are a request for validation. Silence is self-validation. Another thing people don't realize is that powerful men don't leave impulsively. They leave after observing cycles, after giving chances quietly, after adjusting expectations internally. They don't weaponize disappointment. They absorb it, analyze it, and make a decision. By the time the exit happens, there is no emotional chaos left to express. Drama only happens when emotions are unresolved. A resolved man has nothing to unload. And here's something uncomfortable. People often mistake emotional explosions for honesty. They think, at least he said how he felt. But honesty without discipline is just self-indulgence. Powerful men discipline their honesty. They don't dump it on people who failed to listen when it mattered. They also understand that not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Access is earned through consistency, respect, and safety. Once that safety is broken, access is revoked, quietly. Powerful men don't try to be understood by people who benefited from misunderstanding them. Another reason they leave without drama is because they don't want to contaminate their future with emotional residue from the past. Loud endings create emotional baggage. Quiet endings create space, and space is where growth happens. They don't want to rehearse the story again and again. They don't want to become someone who defines himself by what hurt him. They move forward clean. And yes, sometimes silence is misinterpreted as arrogance, coldness, or avoidance. Powerful men accept that. They don't correct perceptions that don't affect their path. Explaining yourself to everyone is exhausting and unnecessary. They let misunderstanding exist because clarity within is more important than clarity outside. Most men fear being seen as the villain. Powerful men fear losing their integrity. That difference changes everything. They don't need to prove they tried. They know they did, and that's enough. Another subtle detail: powerful men don't announce boundaries, they act on them. Announced boundaries invite testing. Enforced boundaries end behavior. Silence after a violation is not weakness, it's consequence. People who push limits rely on emotional reactions to recalibrate control. When they get nothing, the power dynamic collapses. That's why silence feels so final. And no, this isn't about ghosting out of immaturity. It's about disengaging after clarity. There is a difference. Immature silence comes from fear. Mature silence comes from certainty. Powerful men don't disappear to provoke anxiety. They disappear because presence is no longer aligned. They also understand that closure is internal work. Expecting another person to give you peace is giving them power over your healing. Powerful men reclaim that power by closing chapters themselves. They don't need apologies to move on. They don't need acknowledgement to detach. They don't need remorse to regain balance. Balance is self-generated. When a man leaves without drama, it often shocks people because it disrupts emotional scripts. No begging, no fighting, no bargaining, just absence, and absence forces reflection. Sometimes that reflection turns into growth, sometimes into denial, but either way, the powerful man is already gone. He's not waiting to be chased. He's not monitoring reactions. He's not hoping for regret. He's building distance and direction, because power is not about how intensely you feel. It's about how calmly you decide. And once that decision is made, words become unnecessary.